Hey there, Brian Rocca here. Just wanted to shoot out a quick video to everybody regarding what's going on with the market and news and everything. Unfortunately, human beings are more apt to negative information than we are positive. So that's why the news channels and everything are always spewing on who got killed, who got shot, what's going on bad wise. So it's always a negative story because that's what catches your attention. If you heard, I saved the cat out of the tree, you don't really care and it's kind of boring. So unfortunately, our attention is geared towards negativity, and that's why a lot of times negativity is what you hear about in the news. So right now, what's surfacing is rates are going up, values are going down, a recession, all this negativity, inflation. So when we hear all this, we kind of start grouping them all together and assume that everything is tied to everything. And that's part of the misinformation of not knowing exactly what's going on right now. We know a couple things have changed. Right now, the market shift has been confirmed. So as far as real estate's concerned, there has been a shift. Our market's kind of peaked out over in the around March, and we've been slowly coming down since that time. Again, this is based on our numbers and figures from the Cromford report. Fortunately, we're able to view these numbers and see what's going on. Oftentimes, the numbers lag by 30 to 60 days because something that sells today won't close until 30 days from now. So oftentimes when we see a decline or a change or a shift, it's not seen for at least 30 to 60 days, sometimes 90, because that time period of adjustment takes time. So as of right now, our markets are basic economics, with more inventory coming onto the market right now, we've doubled our inventory from last year at this time. So the inventory has come up drastically from where it was before. It's still a seller's market, so there's still a shortage, just not what it was like before. Oftentimes, people tend to go to the extremes instead of looking at snapshots in time. For instance, the market is going up and down, and we think, well, it's a bad time to buy. No, rates just might be higher. You're still going to buy. You're just going to refinance in the future once those rates come down. Rates go up and down. You're not buying the rate. You're buying the house. That's just the cost of purchasing it and what it cost you during that time. In my 22 years of selling homes, I could tell you that I have paid as high as 8.9% on my first house in 1999, as well as as low as 3-4% recently. So rates go up and down. Don't let that be the factor of why you're buying. I know it's tied to affordability, but when you look at the big picture, it's a snapshot in time. So a house might be still going up with 10% rate. So your assumption that the rate's going up means it's not the time to buy is not correct. What I would always recommend, or this is how I advise my clients, is pick what side you're on. So if you assume that the market's crashing and the market's dropping, rates are too high, you don't want to do that. That's absolutely fine. Your all alternative or option is to rent. Now, obviously, if you're looking at both sides of it, you understand rent is actually going up faster than the purchase side of it. So with the rent being your other option, which is not as good of an option, there's so many more variables in renting that could hurt you in the future. Therefore, rent can go up. Whereas on a mortgage, once you buy that, that's a fixed rate. That payment will be there for good, regardless what happens. When the rates drop, you could always refinance, but at least you have that peace of mind knowing that you're locked in at that rate. On a rental, the tenant owns the house or the landlord owns the house. At any point, he could sell it, have you move out. He could always change the terms of the lease once it's over. So after 12 months, he could say, you know what, I don't want this, I want to sell it, or I want you out. So you never have control of your rental like you would owning homes. So there is a huge difference there. Anyways, going back to the report, so buyers right now are feeling pressure from the rates going up. These rates have been increasing. So as a seller, as a buyer, you need to look at the rates and say, hey, I know that they were at 6 months ago. 3 months ago, they're at 4 or 5. Now we're at 6, 7. This is going to continue, guys. This isn't going to slow down. The rate increases are based on taming inflation. So as long as inflation occurs, they're going to keep doing this. Remember, once they increase it to the point where inflation gets tamed, rates will come down. At that point, you're going to refinance. So what they're doing is a good thing, even though people look at it negatively. It's a proactive step of the government trying to slow down this inflation, which inflation lowers our buying power. So this is a good thing. It's a adjustment period. This adjustment might take a couple months. By August, September, we should be out of it. I know sellers are feeling different pressure right now. They're realizing the tables are turning on them. 2-3 months ago, they were at 5-10% above market. waiving appraisals, waiving inspections. Now that's all gone away. It's becoming a more stable market. But again, this is good for both sides. Even though sellers are losing some leverage, they're still getting their appreciation. Your homes are still going up. They're going to start slowing down at the rate of what they're going up, but they're still going up. So remember, it's not what you hear in the news. You have to break down each segment. Is it a good time to buy? Depends. Are you going to be in it for 5, 10 years? Absolutely, it's a great time. Rates over the last 30, 40 years have averaged around 6.5%, 7%. So where we're at is actually average. Again, when I was selling homes in 2000, my first buyer, their rate was 8.7, and that was a good deal at the time. So again, it's all relative to the time. We're coming out of a low rate. It was an artificial rate, so we can't even assume that was a low rate. That was an unrealistic rate. So, anyways, reach out to me if you have any questions. This is a market update. Hope this helps people. And remember, don't let fear steer you. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.